I think the lowest that I've ever seen him in our whole life. Good morning, YouTube. I wanted to say that Chris went for his first exercise this morning.
This is my first run back since Ironman. It's going okay.
So he did, I don't know, I think he said like 2 miles, but like he's still in a lot of pain in his neck. So he was trying to see like how, because he signed up for Ironman for next year, so he wanted to see like how his body is feeling, and it's not feeling great.
Something wrong with my shoulder and it's already starting to ache and something pulling on it. Looks like surgery, I think.
And when he was telling me this, I was just like thinking about Ironman, and like I never really told my viewpoint of what happened, but like I don't think I will ever forget what that feeling that I had and what he looked like and his feelings, like just the whole scene. It's like burned into my memory. We had been tracking him on his app, and we could tell that he was stopping for long periods of time, and I thought, you know, like he had never ridden that long before, so I thought maybe, you know, he was taking breaks or he was struggling with it, not knowing that he had got kicked in the head during the swim and had like a severe concussion. It was getting closer and closer to the time that he needed to be making it back, the cutoff time, in order to continue with the race. And we thought, okay, it's gonna be close, but he can do it. He just has to like really power through and not make any stops. We were watching on the app and he was doing a good job, and then he stopped at this one point and it seemed like he was stopped for maybe 20 or 30 minutes. And so we're like, gosh, like if we could just call him or tell him, like he needed to know that he needed to get back in by this time, like if he could just push it through. So 5:30 was the cutoff time. It was like 5:27, and so we were like, and he was still like a while out, so we were like, let's go over. Like we went over to like the finish line to get ready, and then at about 10 minutes out, that's when I took my phone out. I was like, gosh, he only has 10 minutes. I was just like watching the clock, and like minute by minute was going by like so slow. And it was like in those movies where like you have like 3 minutes, but it's spread out over like a 30-minute period. This 10 minutes of my life was like the longest 10 minutes I have ever experienced. I was seeing like bicyclists come in, and none of them were Chris. I'm like just thinking like, I don't know, I'm not like a very emotional person, so like I don't get like into like, come on, you can do it, like that sort of stuff. But I was just like, I like started to say out loud, like, come on Chris, come on Chris, come on Chris, you can make it. I'm watching the minutes click by, and then I see 2, which I didn't know they were officials at first, but I could tell they worked at Ironman, and they were different from the people who were helping the people off their bikes. They were like, yeah, that's time. So I was like, oh, this sucks. I didn't know how long he was going to be coming in after that, but I saw the officials came, they stood on the line, and then the next person that came in, they caught them, and then the officials told them like, you did an awesome job, you've made it so far, unfortunately you're not going to be able to continue, you're past the time. And I was like, oh gosh, I can't even imagine. And I didn't know when he was going to be coming in, and literally 1 minute and 11 seconds later, then I see Chris coming down, like actually like rushing, you know, to like get to the line. And then there was like all these people there to like catch them, and I was like, oh no. The officials like grabbed him and like pulled him off, and just like I could see visibly like how much pain he is when he could not get off the bike. Like literally which is normal at Ironman, like a lot of people can't get off the bike, but I could tell like it wasn't like stiffness, like he needed to physically be lifted and carried off the bike. And just like the way he was walking, like I just never seen him in this sort of like pain. He was pulled off the bike. The officials tell him like, hey, sorry, you done a great job, but you can't make it. And he was with like this guy who they came in with. I didn't know what their journey was together, but he was like, you know, like how much did we miss it by? And I was like, they literally just came like 1 minute, and like there was obviously like 20 people around, so lots of people are talking to him, but I was like, it was like you just didn't make it by 1 second. Just like the disappointment. And then like him and this other guy, which now we know the guy's name was Craig, they just like were like, I can't, it's like super emotional. Like he like was like, I would like, Chris was like, I never like thank you, like he was just like so like just kept saying like I never would have made it without you, and like he was like very emotional, like and it was like, it was hard to tell because he's like sweating and he's in pain, but like he was like almost in tears, like telling this guy like thank you, because I would never would have made it. And then to find out like later that Chris got very emotional because he felt the guy could have made it if he didn't stay with Chris, but he stayed with Chris the whole time. He didn't leave him on the side of the road like throwing up, like he stayed with him during all his stops. Like, so Chris felt awful because he basically like not made this guy, but the guy chose to stay with him instead of going on and finishing. Once Chris got off his bike and we told him that it wasn't time, it's just like his whole body just like dropped, and then like all his like adrenaline went out and his pain came, and just seeing him like he could barely walk, like he was just so like upset. And I don't even think the disappointment from not finishing had set in yet, but like the pain had. And then later he went like immediately from getting off his bike to the medical tent, and then when I got him out from the medical tent, like that's the first time that I had like talked to him. Well, I saw him when he was driving by, they drove him to the medical tent, and just like, but that evening when he was home in the hotel, I think the lowest that I've ever seen him in our whole life. He was in pain, like he was super emotional, he was out of it like from the concussion, and it just like, I don't know, it was just, that whole experience was like something that I will never forget. I knew that he was probably going to want to do it again, even though when he came out of the medical tent, he was like, I'm never doing that again. It took like 2 days and he was like, I want to do it again. So as painful as it was to see him like that, emotional, like I was crying. Just like seeing him talking to this guy and being so emotional, because he's not like a super emotional person. So I'm excited to watch him do it next year, because I know unless like something massive happens again where it's like a injury that he can't control, he's definitely gonna finish. So yeah, that's all. That's my story. I wish I could like had it been filming through my eyes sort of thing, so you could just like see, but like it's like burned into my memory. So hope that gave you a little insight into his experience. And yeah, if you like today's vlog, give it a thumbs up. If you like our channel, please subscribe. And me and little Munchkin here are gonna be going to bed now. We will see you tomorrow. I can't give you my normal peace sign, it's down here because somebody's on my arm, but ciao.